All right, guys, welcome back to another video. It's your man Jay. So I got this phone probably 10 to 15 days ago, and this is a permanent replacement for my Moto G7, which still works. It just had the cracked back. So this is a daily driven phone. So in the first 7 days or so, I kind of banged it around as a review phone type phone. But I bought this for my Google Fi line because I need a phone on my Google Fi line. I need something that's going to be consistent, that when I travel, I'll have good battery life, decent cameras, and more importantly, something with a headphone jack, for radio purposes when there's no signal, if possible. Because there have been times where I didn't have signal with Google Fi, but that was probably 2, 3 years ago. So this phone is the Moto G Power, and there's a lot of controversy behind this device because of the battery, and I don't mean controversy in a bad way. There's just attention being given to this phone because of the battery, but that's just one of the high points of this device. I look at this device as $200 or $250, depending on where you get it from. So performance is key, and I think the Snapdragon 665. I'm learning about the 665 the more and more I use it, and the 665 is also in my TCL 10L. So this processor, I learned something when I was putting it against the TCL 10. It performs just as well, even though it has 2 gigs less of RAM. It has 4 gigs of RAM, and the TCL 10 has 6 gigs of RAM. But optimization is key, and the TCL 10 is definitely very close to stock, but this is pretty much stock. This is a speedy operating system when there's bare bones, and the Moto G Power takes advantage of that, I think. I think that if you're in the market for a device and you're trying not to spend more than $300, this is a contender. I'm not going to write off every other phone that's under $300, but in fact, this device is a true winner to probably more people than they want to accept. A lot of people might be in denial about what they consider to be performance, but do you really honestly need your phone to open up at a 0.1 just to get to what you need to do? I mean, some people say, "Oh, the lag when you scroll like that." Well, nobody really scrolls like that. In video, when you're trying to tell someone about a product, it's hard. You can only do so much to get them to understand that it's a speedy device. It performs well in daily use. So oftentimes, as reviewers, we find ourselves skipping through and just scrolling through the products, or the applications. So I say to those that worry about processing power, because there's a lot of people out there that just don't review phones that are under 500-600 bucks. They just what they consider not to be a flagship. When in reality, I think the majority of the world is looking at phones like this, and I think they're very happy with them overall, because we forget that the majority of the world does not and cannot, they don't want and they cannot afford, or they choose not to spend their money on phones that are very expensive. Now, I've chosen to put the UAG Scout Series case on this device, and this is where it will probably live. Someone said once, "Jay, why don't you take that case off while you're reviewing the phone?" Well, I could, but this is how I carry this phone all the time. So I wanted to show you real world. This is how I use the phone. So this case was $15.99 at Best Buy with the code 20, the number 20, and then the words percent off spelled out right when you get to the checkout. $19.99, but UAG is in fact selling this for $30, $29.99. So I guess Best Buy wants to try to beat them to the punch in sales and really hammer home some sales, I guess. But this is a one-piece style case, and this is how I choose to protect the phone right now. It's got a nice sloping design. It's beautiful, man. Every port and everything lines up. It's just a nice grippy case too, and you got lip protection. I don't have a screen protector yet, but in fact, I'll try to find one later on. I'm in no hurry, but I'll find one, because screen protectors now, do I really need them? I haven't cracked any screens in a long time, but I've definitely shattered backs of phones before. So overall, folks, the Moto G Power, I think this is just going to be one of those phones that it's just good. Like, it's literally just good. There's not much I can say about it. Not much at all, like in a derogatory way. It has stereo speakers. I've already tested those. You know, the screen is decent. The screen isn't the best um, screen on a phone in this price range, but in fact, it is very doable. So let's just click on this right here. Let's go open it up here. The stereo speakers are incredible. This is just first video I saw, so I clicked on it. Changes and differences that I can see so far. It definitely feels good. Yes, it's still raining, so no driving this bad boy, but it's still clean. So yeah, how that goes. So in the first video I did, it's a solid performer, to say the least. It's extremely solid, and performance-wise, you know, you can't go wrong with this screen in this package, especially since I got it for $200. So far, I've spent $199 on the phone. I've got a great performing phone. Battery is obviously top notch. And speaking of battery, and then I'll get on the call quality, because some people like to talk about call quality. Some people like calls. What are those? I do a lot of calls with this device, like predominantly calls. Even though I'm showing you the social media and everything, this phone is definitely used for pretty much phone calls. And that's important to me, because that's why I like Google Fi, is because Google Fi, it jumps between networks if you have a certified device. So that is one reason why I like to have an official certified device through Google. I think it's important to, if you're going to use Google Fi, you want to make sure you have a Google certified device so it can jump between the networks. And Motorola seems to be one of the few phones that's actually keeping that going for Google Fi. But I think I was going to talk about phone calls. Phone calls are fantastic on here when, in fact, I'm in a Google Fi area. I've seen it jump to Cellular One and Sprint while I was traveling before. But overall, the call quality on here is actually really, really good. Now, battery life off of Wi-Fi. Now, some people question, well, Jay, you always have it on Wi-Fi. You always have it on Wi-Fi. Have you tested battery on LTE? Of course, I've tested battery on LTE, but the difference is so minimal. Some people think that, here's the truth. If you have a weak signal, if you have a weak cell phone signal, your battery is going to work harder to keep that phone on that strongest signal. So, and those that ask, this is a default wallpaper right in the phone. There's no, I need to get it. It's right in here. Oops, it's right there. So, just in case you were wondering about that. But for those that question, the battery life, well, Jay, the battery life is good because you're using it on Wi-Fi. Well, that could possibly be true, but I think this battery life is great on LTE and Wi-Fi. And I say that with confidence because I've tested on Wi-Fi, I've tested on LTE, and I have no problems with either or. So 16 hours on Wi-Fi and roughly 12 to 14 hours on LTE. So if you thought it was going to be a lot lower, because I'm in an area where signal is great. Signal is fantastic. So I don't have an issue with trying to search for signal where I live. So, and this is Google Fi. So the cell phone's going to jump between networks to give you the best service. And with that, Google Fi has been great, man. Battery life over LTE for this phone. And the reason I don't keep it on LTE is because of the data. I don't want to use too much data, so I keep it on Wi-Fi. That's the only reason that it stays on Wi-Fi predominantly. But when I go out, obviously it's going to jump to LTE. But I have hotspots throughout the city, so I can jump on those and get back onto Wi-Fi if I want to. However, LTE for this phone, when it comes to versus the battery life, you should be fine. You should still be able to pull down at least 12 hours of screen on time, easy. So I think if you're wondering about battery life and things like that on LTE, you'll be fine. Overall, folks, I feel like the Moto G Power is a phone that you should consider if, in fact, you are ready to not spend a ton of money and save and get a powerful device from a reputable company. Because Motorola is not this slouch on the block, man. They're a fantastic company. So I feel like, why not consider this? And again, I know that TCL just hit the streets, and boy, when that phone drops, I think that a lot of companies, not just Motorola, I think a lot of companies are going to have to wake up, because TCL is bringing great cameras to the game and great software experience, and that can't be said about a lot of flagships. So this phone has really good cameras, overall, and I think the performance is top notch. I mean, some people say, well, how does it compare to the 3A? That's going to be something that is, all of this is subjective, by the way, but I try to be as objective as I can. But everybody's experience is going to be different, so you'll need to actually figure it out on your own. Like, you got to do your own, meaning you got to go buy it and just test it out for yourself. And before you say, well, Jay, I can't keep affording to buying these phones. Well, if you have a phone that's working, stay with it. Because if I tell you, well, I like the cameras better on the 3A, but the battery is definitely better on here, that's still all just my opinion. It's kind of factual, but because the battery life on this phone is beating up on every device. But I tell you what, the 3A and the 3A XL definitely have good cameras, good software, and the software is matched with Motorola. So if you ask me directly, hey, should I get the 3A or should I get the Moto G Power? I would tell you, get the Moto G Power. It costs less. It's got bigger battery. It doesn't have the better cameras, but it has good cameras. You see? So that's subjective, though. You might say, oh, no, Jay, you're not Team Pixel anymore. Oh, I'm Team Pixel, but I'm also realistic about it. If you have $300 and you say, well, Jay, I need to buy a phone, I'm going to tell you, out of those two, the 3A, the small 3A, or the big 3A XL, I would tell you to get this one, because you're saving money, getting an almost identical software experience, performance, everything. You're getting the stereo speakers, you're getting the newer design, if you will, and you're getting that killer battery with a headphone jack. So it's your man Jay. Moto G Power, after almost 2 weeks, I would say. This phone is fantastic, folks. So consider it as a phone to check off the list of phones under $300 that's well worth your money. It's your man Jay. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys in the next one. Take care.